And it's a two-part question, of course. The follow-up is your least favorite words.
Trump. Well, I'm not going to top that, am I? Okay. Moving on.
Bouncing off of that, then I'll put my suggested question in. Over the last few days in conversations around the camp, the appellation wordsmith has come up several times to describe your writing skills. However, it seems that you choose the song lyric mode of meter and rhyme almost exclusively. I've heard a rumor that you may be working on something in the prose arena. You care to talk about that for a minute?
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about. There's the Appalachian style.
Oh.
No, I'm ready.
Appellation is like you have a bottle of wine. And
and you just start babbling?
Yeah, okay.
No, not you personally. I just mean it's like, is that the style that comes with that?
Yeah, well,
the Appalachian style of lyricism?
No, you are known as a wordsmith among people because you write some of the best written word that most of us have ever heard.
Oh. In a musical context.
Yeah.
It's not yeah, she loves you, yeah, she loves you, yeah.
There is an attention to detail in the lyrics that you write. You never have the same chorus 3 times. It's always you, and then me, and then them, and then us. I mean, it's amazing the stuff that you do, and you make people think.
Pretty cheesy gimmick, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Just keep changing the person throughout the song, But nowadays I write the words last. I have never written the words first to a song.
Yeah.
A lot of people write song poems, or lyrics or something like that, and then have to set them to music. I've never been inspired that way. When I was growing up, I wasn't so much into the leitmotif, songs and stuff like that. I listened to orchestral music and show tunes, which are never like A, B, C, B, 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 whatever. It's usually more interesting than that. And so I didn't really evaluate song form, of course, until the Beatles came out and managed to make hit after hit after hit after hit after hit, and you wonder what the hell are they doing that's different from everybody else. And you realize that they were actually doing things that were slightly different than everybody else. And then I thought, that's the way music is supposed to be. It's supposed to be, it's supposed to say something, and it's got to be sort of a complete thing, a story in a way, so that whole you, we, they stuff, I kind of inherited in a way from the Beatles, in that they changed. They often talk about you, they sing about you, she loves you, try to see it my way, we can work it out, everything wasn't always about you broke my heart, girl, me. And I was so influenced by the Beatles that I thought that's the way you're supposed to think when you write music. You don't go for the most obvious thing, Of course, when the Beatles started out, they didn't even write songs. They were covering everybody else's songs. And then they started to write songs, and the first one was Love, Love Me Do. You know I love you. I'll always be true. So please, love me do. So the only thing different about it is the form. The lyrics are dumb. Really stupid. you know, but in a different form than a lot of other songs. And the way they delivered it just sold it. But they grew into it eventually, you know, and it's songs like Nowhere Man or, you know, like We Can Work It Out. They weren't songs just about getting your heart broke by some girl. It started to think a little bit more globally about the human condition and that sort of thing. And by the time you get to Sgt. Pepper, who knows what the hell they're writing about, you know? Which is cool.
Yeah.
It's burger time!
Oh, okay. Last burger. Thank you. Oh, I don't need the pizza. Thank you so much. That's just all bread, you know, the carbs. Eat the pepperoni off the top.
Well, before we leave that subject, everyone under this tent and everyone in your family has favorite lyrics of yours, things that have changed our lives. For instance, for me, when you sang the words, I only want to see if you'll give up on me, but there's always more. I picked up a banner, and I just can't put it down now. That's my life. Because I was challenged. And he's always there with something more. There's always more.
Yeah, thank you.
However, that question was trying to ask the question, do you have on the horizon writing a book that's not in rhyme and meter? Something like, I don't know, a few years ago in the Patronet days, you had come up with a concept for a book where there was like a subject on each page and there were 3 different sections to it, and there were some samples of it on Patronet, but then I don't remember if it ever came out.
It's coming out this year. $120 coffee table edition. No, actually, Cleopatra decided they would pick up the book. It had languished in part because writing to me is a lot like homework. I just hated school. I hated the fact that I couldn't go home and forget school. I had to still like be in school while I was at home. So the whole idea of forcing myself to write seemed like a book report. I was doing a book report on my own book. And eventually, I thought if I don't do it, somebody else will do it and I will hate it. So I finally forced myself to finish it. And yes, it still has that form. The form is, every chapter is 1 page. Every page is 3 paragraphs. And usually when somebody writes a story, or especially an autobiography, a lot of the recollections are all mashed up with the facts of what happened, what you were going through when it happened, and whatever conclusions you might have arrived at because of what happened. And I thought it'd be a lot easier to read, especially for somebody like me, if I broke it down and separated out the facts of what happened. That's the first paragraph. That's what happened to me as far as I remember. Second paragraph is what was going through my mind at the time that this happened. So you're getting mostly the pictures, then you're getting the captions, and then the final paragraph is whatever I learned out of that particular experience that might be valuable for somebody who's reading the book. Like, why the hell are you reading a book anyway? Unless you're just morbidly curious, you have morbid curiosity and you just want to hear some awful thing that happened. And there are a few, I know you do, but anybody who's still alive, I've tried to spare them. Or at least the ones who don't deserve it. Yeah. But I hear that the book will be out before Christmas, possibly in October. I have not seen the galleys yet to correct everything, make sure that's right. Yeah, there's a photo section, it's like that at the end of all rare photos and stuff like that. And that's the answer, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes, there is a book that's coming out.
You need a minute?
No,